Hello everyone, my name is Matthew Jeans and I am the Melodic Meal Maestro from melodiceats.com. And so I thought I'd post a little bit of an intro video on this channel because I hadn't done that yet. And I've been still trying to figure out kind of what I wanted to do with this channel. And I just wanted to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about what the intent is. So Melodic Meal Maestro really is the intersection of food and music. And if you see me looking down, it's because I have some notes that I'm trying to reference. And, I'm not going to worry about this being super fancy or anything. So I just want to chat with some people and see if anyone else is interested in this. And my journey in creating this blog was from my passion for both music and culinary arts. I have a master's degree in clarinet performance, and I got my bachelor's in clarinet performance as well. But I've always really enjoyed music theory. And so I really wanted to take that passion that I have for music and use it in a unique way. I've always loved Frédéric Chopin and his music, and I have always had this kind of multi-sensory experience with his music. And that's what kind of encouraged me to do a blog like this in the first place. And then moving forward, I also have a master's and a PhD in nutritional sciences. And so I want to be clear that that doesn't mean I'm a dietitian or anything like that. I really wanted to kind of take that aspect though on how I've always kind of seen food as, the sustenance for, of course, your body and your mind, but then seeing music as food for the soul. And I wanted to combine those two things into this blog. So my philosophy with this blog is to elevate your dining experience. And what I mean by that is kind of what I hinted at already with creating these multisensory experiences. So it really focuses on how music can enhance a flavor and vice versa. And there's actually been research that shows that certain frequencies, for instance, will change the taste of something being sweeter or maybe more bitter. And so this is actually something that has been scientifically proven to be related, but I kind of take it a level above that and really being subjective with a lot of my personal experiences and how I view these connections between the foods and the music that I'm talking about. And so I write in my About Me section that this blog is your guide to discovering how food and music can create a multisensory experience, transforming the way you perceive and enjoy meals. And I mentioned my personal experience from baking my family recipe for rum cake. That has a special place in my heart, and I associate that with a lot of happy memories and baking around the holidays and things like that. And everyone has experiences like that with their food. And so, I keep throwing out this term multisensory, and that's really just getting to where you're using as many senses as possible and all of your senses for these experiences. And I touch on this in my podcast a little bit. So I have started a Spotify podcast, and in that podcast called Melodic Bites, I talk about my blog posts, but in more depth and detail. I'll maybe explain something a little bit further, but it's kind of like a reading through the blogs, which is what I plan to do on this channel as well, but in a little bit of a different light. And so to explain this a little bit further, on my website, I have what I call sound bites. And so Melodic Bites is my podcast, and then sound bites are where I have crafted recipes with curated playlists or a song specifically that I want you to listen to while you eat it or while you bake it. I have the instructions in these sound bites on the website. And so some of them have several songs on them, and they actually list out, like, listen to this song while you're doing this part of the recipe. And so I sometimes get really specific with it because I really want to challenge people who are interested in food and music to think about these things while you're crafting music. Or crafting food rather, but it could work the other way around. And so one of my favorite recipes has always been spaghetti. It's classic, and I have this memory of having it every Wednesday night. So growing up, that was a staple for me. It was a staple meal. It was one of my favorites, still is to this day. I have it all the time. And so if I were to ask you, what song would you associate with spaghetti? First of all, you'd be like, what are you talking about, right? And I think most people would, but that's the point of this blog, is to try to get you to think about things like that. It's like, oh, what would I say if I had to have a song that made me link spaghetti to it? That's Amore by Dean Martin could be one song that you would choose, just because, spaghetti is an Italian cuisine, and Dean Martin is an Italian singer. So, you could do something as simple as that. Or you might choose Scarborough Fair, a Canticle by Simon and Garfunkel. And that's because the song has lyrics that reference herbs commonly used in Italian cuisine. So, there are a lot of different ways. There are never any right or wrong answers necessarily. It's all about what you think and how you link things. And that's what I love about the idea for this blog. And so I do have a weekly email list where I share updates, exclusive freebies. So I have a subscriber portal on my website, and that's only for people who have subscribed to the email list, and they have access to a few things there. It could be recipes, additional articles. You get exclusive access to the Beginner's Guide of Culinary Soundscapes, which is a book that I've already written. I've not published it yet. But it's kind of like a quick overview of that book, and it has an exclusive recipe with a playlist in that. So I have a lot of stuff in mind for this. I'm still trying to build it out, so just bear with me. But this is a passion project of mine, and it's something that I've really enjoyed doing the past few months, and I have a lot of ideas for the future for it, but I don't think I'll get there unless I find my community and find people who want to talk about things like this. So musicians, foodies, if you're a foodie and a musician, perfect, but I want it to be a place where you can learn about food, you can learn about music. So don't get intimidated if you don't know things about music. I try to, in my blog post, even explain some terms in case you're not familiar with them. So I really just want this to be a fun experience with people, and I love meeting people, and I'd love to have you be a part of this community. I'm on all of the socials. I'm on Instagram at Melodic Meal Maestro, Spotify. I create a lot of playlists on my profile there, and I have the podcast. And then I'm now dabbling in YouTube, and I'm trying to do some more TikTok videos. And so, most people say just focus on one social platform, but in this day and age, it's kind of hard to do that because I need to find my audience. So some things that I really like to do outside whenever I do have spare time, I like to build Lego. I love to do some junk journaling, which is something I've kind of gotten into a little bit lately. And I love playing video games. I have a dog. I have a miniature schnauzer named Mia, and she's named after Princess Mia from Princess Diaries. And so she's a handful, and she's over here laying down, which is why I looked over there. But you can see a picture of her on my About Me page on the website. If you want to be a part of this community, I'd love to have you there and have you be in it. And again, it's melodiceats.com if you want to find out more information, and all my socials. I'll post those in the description below as well. So if you watch this all the way through, drop a comment down below, introduce yourself. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your ideas, comments, suggestions. If you checked out the blog, what are things that you're liking? What are things that maybe you would like to see that I don't do? I'd love to have feedback on anything and everything. So yeah, that's it. I hope to see you in the next one. Nice to meet you. Bye.